Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Comic Book Network. I'm your host, Ian.
And I'm your co-host, Ethan.
Lucky number 13. Can't you believe that we got there?
I cannot believe.
Can't you?
Can't.
Perfect. Me neither. It's a big number, but it's a number indeed.
It is indeed a number. You are correct on that aspect.
Thank you. I did go to school all week just so that I could, quote that one fact of the day. 13. It's a number.
Very insightful. And
Thank
this
you.
is why we have viewers.
Absolutely. This is why we have listeners with their ears. You would have known that if you had went to school for the whole week.
I might have.
And speaking of tense and awkward intros, Civil War. Tense and not as awkward, but, definitely the tense aspect.
Yeah, it's tense.
It's getting pretty close here now, and all the reviews have been great so far, or most of them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it because, with Batman vs. Superman, the reviews were not stellar, but the movie was still pretty good. So with stellar reviews, the movie should be stellar.
Stellar indeed.
Stellar.
It should be among the stars.
Amongst them.
No. Hey, who's the one who went to school for a week here?
That would be you.
Yeah, exactly.
I submit to your knowledge of school.
I am the master, and you are my servant. Do you
Yes.
submit to that?
No.
Okay, you just said yes, though, so I'm going to take that first answer, because, first is the best. And I am first, because I am the best.
Speaking of first being the best, Captain America was the first Avenger.
And
Is
you
he
think
gonna be
his
the
side
best?
is the best?
Personally, I think that his side could be the best.
And why is that?
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, well, naturally.
Naturally.
And did you hear how Scarlet Witch is going to be involved with that team?
Not yet, but I've seen the trailers, and though she doesn't play a huge part in them, her one little flying scene is pretty stellar.
I am going to kill you if you keep using that word. But I agree with you. She's a good character, and it's exciting to see her in this movie. I don't think they could really put her at full capacity here, because there's no one really to go against except maybe Vision, and even then, Scarlet Witch at her full power could probably demolish Vision.
Well, based off the previous movies, we've seen that, Vision can hold his own against threats like Ultron, who Scarlet Witch did not manage to take down.
Again, if it's just at full power, she would probably take him down pretty easy. Chaos magic beats density changing. But
or she could have Vision fight her for a couple of seconds and then just become unresponsive for the entire rest of the battle.
Excuse me? I hate to remind you of it so many times in just this one episode alone, but I did go to school all week, including Sunday, and that's tomorrow. So
this is not relevant.
Okay.
This is not relevant.
All right, fine. I do want to go into one more little detail, which is that I did go to school and I'm very proud of it. Okay, moving on now.
Moving on.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta say, I support Tony's side a lot more than I do Captain America. Like, at first instinct, reading over the comic and the sort of battle that ensued, Captain America was really the cool one, the cool side, the underground rebels who come in to fight the establishment and do their little anarchist superhero vendetta. But definitely looking back on it, it's become sort of like, oh, Tony was right pretty much the whole time. Like, what Tony was doing was to ensure safety for everyone. And I think regulations would have to be put in place if there's people so powerful as Scarlet Witch or as Captain America. I know it's not fair to put them really on the same level, but still, having those two, or having any superhero really running around unchecked is a dangerous, dangerous thing.
Yes, and I agree with you. It will really depend on how similar it is to the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, from what I've gathered, the plot is going to be focused primarily, or at least a lot, on Bucky Barnes,
right,
and his whole part in the Civil War.
And I think that's kind of going to be what makes it, a Captain America movie rather than an Avengers movie, because it's very much a continuation, or at least I'm hoping it'll be a continuation of The Winter Soldier. And to continue that, you need to have Bucky as an integral part. And they've already stated before that he is going to be a part of this. That being said, I do understand their desire to punish him for what he's done. Like, even under influence, you can't really atone for those crimes. And I can understand sort of where Iron Man is coming from in thinking that he needs to be checked out a little bit before he, reverts back to Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous thing. But that brings up another point, which is that the plot has been set up so well already, I think. Because, Superman needed all that, or Batman versus Superman needed all that tension to be built up in one movie. So
Right.
They had an hour of tension just building and building, but there was no real premise for these characters. There was some for Superman, but none for Batman, and none prior to the movie. We had seen Superman in Man of Steel, but there wasn't really a ton of character building moments in that movie either. Whereas with Marvel, I think we've seen like a Civil War coming in a lot of the movies. Like the Avengers, usually their movies are pretty tense. Like there's been a lot of tension already between Iron Man and Cap, who are like essentially the leaders of the two teams, right?
Right. And that's on your note of Batman versus Superman.
Right.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about, is because they had the prologues or the prequels in comics, so you could see some background, and that's why for comic book readers it went over okay, but for like critics and stuff it didn't.
Right.
And so I think Marvel did a better job of putting it in movies so that critics could see this, and then it would transfer better and they'd understand it, so everyone can see it.
Because this Civil War movie is kind of what the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe has been building up to.
Well, let's not forget
Thanos. Well, yeah, Thanos has been just the best
primary
characterization.
Absolutely.
Marvel. Oh my goodness, I cannot say enough about Thanos.
I actually can't say very much about him.
Come to think of it, actually.
He sits, he stands, he's purple.
And that's all we need. That's all he needs, for he is what rhymes with need.
Need, as in bread.
He is need in the groin, though. See, you thought I was going to go with the bread thing, but instead I went with the KNEED. You see?
That is the bread.
I went to school for the whole week, so I didn't want to bring it up again, but clearly you're doubting me, so, it has to be this way.
It has to be now.
And that's why I'd like to announce that episode 14 of the Comic Book Network will be our Civil War. Yeah, that's right. Ian versus Ethan. Dawn of Civil Justice of Thanos. Are you excited?
Can we fit that many characters into the title?
No, we can only fit three, but I was thinking just IVE or IVT or ITE. You know, Ian, Thanos, Ethan. Thoughts?
8.
Okay, that's a perfect thought. Um, but yeah, there's been these movies that just led up to this point. They've got the characters established. They'll be able to launch into the action and the plot of this movie a lot better since they have these characters that we know their motivations and we know their relationships to one another and we know how they work together. So seeing some of those relationships broken and some of them grown, like with Ant-Man and all of those, I think that'll be really interesting and it'll be helpful to have that sort of universe builded already.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Ant-Man play
Right.
a part in this story because, I mean, he's a fairly, in terms of MCU, he's a fairly new character,
Right.
you know? He hasn't really stretched to the limits of his powers yet,
Right.
other than shrinking down.
Mm-hmm. There's actually like 3 characters in this movie that I'd say are relatively new. 3 main characters anyway, and that would be Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Ant-Man. And from the reviews I've heard, they're some of the highlights of the movie. So, you have any thoughts on that? Any excitement?
I'm excited to see another reboot of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I know you are.
So ready for it.
I think this will be different because they're not doing a repetitive origin story. They're just launching right into the action, and that's kind of exciting for me anyway.
You know what would have been great if they had done?
What?
They take Spider-Man and they make it a 2-plot structure.
Okay.
Like Batman versus Superman, because that was critically acclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
So they make a 2-part structure. First part, Spider-Man grows up, loses his uncle, fights Green Goblin.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's perfect.
That is.
Second part?
No.
Okay.
Just a 2-plot structure.
Okay, so if I could jump on to that idea just a little bit.
Feel free, but we're moving fast.
Like Batman versus Superman, what if we introduced Bruce Wayne into the story? And since, as we know, Aunt May's nickname is Martha, we could really introduce sort of a fight there and then sort of have it all come together when Spider-Man screams Martha and then, you know, they come together and then fight Doomsday for the final part.
Yeah, but I don't know about Doomsday.
Okay.
Maybe instead of Doomsday, we take Green Goblin and put him back again.
Oh.
Again. Another Green Goblin.
Better idea? Thanos.
Thanos.
He's the perfect Doomsday villain. Am I right?
He is.
But what if we replaced him with Doomsday and we replaced Spider-Man with Superman?
Ooh, I like it. And then, for the first hour and 2 hours
right.
more,
yeah,
we develop the character tension.
Let's not. Let's just cram it all into the first 30 minutes and then just pray for good luck.
I think that works.
Yeah, that. I'd like to say this is this is definitely illegal for you to steal because it is gold and nothing but gold. One more thing before we move on to our reads of the week that I want to say is that in terms of the Spider-Man reboot, I think that the Civil War is a great place to reintroduce him because in many ways the Civil War was like a second origin for Peter Parker where he becomes sort of this he's turning into a man and he's getting ready to accept responsibility at a higher level, and I think that's important, and I think this is a great place to start it.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of a reboot, but a reboot of his reboot.
Right.
Get it?
No, I am so lost
That's
in
all
it.
right.
Even though I did go to school
For a full week.
No, I actually only went. I only went 2 days. I wanted to lie to impress you, and
Consider
kind of
me
fell
impressed.
flat. You really?
I am.
2 days?
2 days.
That impressed you?
Tupac.
Okay, now I no longer feel the satisfaction of impressing you because you're impressed at 2 days, and it kind of devalues the whole thing.
Nice.
Moving on to our reads of the week. Would you like to start out with your read?
Yes, this week I read The Avengers.
Whoa.
Pretty good.
All of them?
Creative title.
That's like thousands.
Just one.
Just one?
Circa 1985, I believe.
Okay.
It was, I don't remember what issue it was, but it was in which 3 of the Avengers got transferred to Limbo.
Okay.
Because of Kang, not Krang.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Time Traveler.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
He traveled through time and took them and put them there, and they had to fight.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And actually, for 1985, which is the copyright date on it, the art is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
How good? Like on a scale of 1 to art.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So that's about in the middle, I'd say.
Well, I mean, it's there.
Right.
It's there, you know. Sometimes you notice it.
It's kind of a state for the art to be in, you know?
It is a great state.
We
it's
know
a
you
mediocre
come
state.
for the killer puns. Moving on to my read of the week, which is superior in every way. Moon Knight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first issue of the all new, all different run. And it was great. The whole story kind of fluctuated between what was real and what wasn't. We see that he is sort of a mental patient at some asylum, but then we also see that maybe this asylum really isn't what it seems. Maybe it's actually
a huge block of cheese.
You stole the words right out of my mouth and twisted them into completely different words.
You're welcome.
You're wrong.
It's a mind game.
Okay, that was a very bad mind game. I'm sorry to tell you this so bluntly, but man, that was bad. All bad.
The moon is cheese.
Okay, I will admit to that point. But, actually, the asylum might be a new Egypt.
Oh.
And our friend Khonshu is trying to help Moon Knight right out of that place, but he is stuck there for now, at least. There were some cool art scenes. I really did love the sort of gritty art. It fit the tone pretty well, and the colors were kind of weirdly psychedelic, like fluctuating between really dark and plain, like black and white sort of tones, to really moody sort of greens and reds and all that. And it turned out really well. I really liked the art. The story sounds very promising, very interesting. I love delving into Moon Knight's insanity, because it is probably the most interesting part of his character. And questioning whether Moon Knight was actually real is a very interesting plotline. Yeah. Do you think he was?
Moon Knight?
Yeah.
I think he's real.
I don't believe in him.
He's a real OG, man.
He's like Santa Claus. Like, I only believe in him if he gives me presents. And so far, I have set out my tree every Moon Knight day
He is a
but
reel.
no presents have appeared under
He
it.
is a fishing reel.
Okay.
Ever gone fishing?
No, I haven't. What is fishing?
Fish. So basically fish, but plural.
Oh,
Plural superlative.
I get it. I don't know what you're saying, and I did go to school 2 days this week. And I still, nothing. It's just...
Fishesist.
All right, we're going to move to the letter of the week because I am already confused. Remember, you can contact us at thecomicbooknetwork@gmail.com. That's thecomicbooknetwork@gmail.com.
Nice.
Thank you.
I was pretty fast.
I've been practicing.
It was
more
stellar.
You can also find us at our website, which is thecomicbooknetwork.weebly.com. And need I remind you, that website is also
good.
stellar.
Stellar.
You lost it for me.
Ooh.
Oh.
Messed up in the home stretch.
Yeah, we were almost there, and now we'll have to delete the whole thing. I can't believe what you've done. For every question that we get, we give them a new name, specifically to keep them, on the down low. We don't want to give away their identity because they could be government spies. So, what name do you have for this person? It is a man.
Well, this man is actually the same man as last week's question, but now we have a different one of his questions. So, because it's the same as last week, I'm going to give him the name Benedict Seams.
Okay, how does that correlate at all?
I thought it was a stellar name.
Okay, perfect. What?
Benedict Seams.
Benedict Seams writes, what do you want to see in the Doctor Strange trailer that released this week? Next week. So we already did see the trailer, so instead we're going to give a little bit of our thoughts on how it did go and how it appeared.
My thoughts on the trailer? It was, now I'm not an avid Doctor Strange enthusiast, so
right.
I know some about him.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ton, granted. So I liked how it kind of just gave us a look into his origin, and then the White Witch from Narnia was there, which was confusing.
Yeah, she really didn't seem to fit the role, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a sexist pig. I am saying that because the Ancient One didn't seem so ancient. The Ancient One seemed kind of lackluster, and just boring.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really liked the trailer. The sort of Inception kaleidoscope effect was pretty cool. I think there could have been definitely better ways to show his magic. Like, it seemed very limited in what it showed off. And a lot... I wish we had seen the villain a little bit more. But for a first trailer, it got me hooked. It got me excited. Yeah. And I think it did give us a look at some of the sort of magic aspect of him. And I think that that'll be expanded upon in future trailers. Now, since he was asking for the future, why don't we look towards the future and say what we'd like to see in the next few sort of trailers for Doctor Strange. And personally, I again like to see sort of an amplification of the magic that we saw in this trailer. I'd like to see maybe more of the villain, more of either Mads Mikkelsen. I hope I said that name right, or Baron Mordo. I forget who's playing him, but they're both very exciting looking villains, and I'd like to see how they play out and what sort of chemistry they have with, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, kind of along the same lines as you. In the next couple of trailers, I mean, this was kind of a teaser trailer,
Right.
so it teased us, it gave us some info, but I'd like to see more about the plot and not so much just magic.
Right. And we already do know some details about the plot. For Baron Mordo, apparently he is going to be sort of a pal to Doctor Strange a little bit before he decides to, get out of the way and create his own evil sect of magic, which seems, very generic, but the idea of a villain who was once an ally hasn't been used too much in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet. Aside from Bucky is really the only one I can think of at the moment. But it'll be exciting to see how their relationship plays out and how they both grow as characters because of their relationship with each other.
Yeah, I'm excited. It definitely has a lot of potential.
Right. And we're going to end it on that note. Remember, you can find us on Gmail. You can find us on our website. Once again, that's thecomicbooknetwork.weebly.com. And that has all the stuff that you can ever hope to see. If you aren't a fan of either of those, you can try YouTube, which has all of our episodes under our account name, The Comic Book Network.
You can try Spreaker.
You can also try Spreaker, which is pretty much our mainstay for now. That will have updated each week, and it'll have every single one of our episodes. You can find us there.
And also on iFunny.
And also on iFunny, that's true. Would you like to shout out what your name on iFunny is, just so that they can find us there?
No. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. Contingency T.
All right, and mine is Bucky Barnes _ LOH.
There might be an underscore in my name.
No, there is not.
I don't know.
I do know. Thank you all for following us and for listening to our podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great week. At least do 2 days of school.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Stellar.